Oh my God. We're doing this again, aren't we, y'all? We are doing this again. So apparently, these people on Netflix can't even catch a break. Coming from these unemployed trans people, the woke activists crying over Dave Chappelle's Netflix special. I sometimes think people don't realize he's actually helping the community to understand about life and why people get offended over bullcrap. Dave Chappelle controversy now sees Netflix hit with unfair labor change by fired and suspended staffers. These people want the cake. This is exactly what it's all about. They just want the cake. They want their cake and eat it too. I mean, this is just blatantly terrible, bro. I just don't understand society. I really don't. The blast radius from the controversy over Dave Chappelle's repeated remarks about the trans and LGBTQ plus communities in his Netflix special, The Closer, has now extended further as the National Labor Relations Board is reviewing bruising charges of unfair labor practices against the streamer. Why? Just why? What's the point of continuing to bash something that a lot of people found enjoyment of and entertaining of? But this right here is just ridiculous. I am sorry. You keep crying about it, it's not going to solve anything. It's just going to continue to make things worse and worse and worse from there. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing you can do. You cannot cancel Netflix over this special. You can't even cancel a celebrity over a joke that they just told. And despite my bad ratings over this, at least I'm giving you the information so that y'all can go check it out for yourselves. But this is my opinion of this. Sometimes you cannot enjoy certain things without getting offended over one thing. Especially when comedians tell jokes about a lot. Naming co-CEO Tate Sarandos as the employer representative, fired Netflix program manager B. Pagos Minor, and suspended senior software engineer Terrafield filed paperwork with the federal agency on October 27th of this year over the false and pretextual reasons and retaliation leveled against them respectively. I'm going to read you one more time. Naming co-CEO Tate Sarandos as the employer representative, fired Netflix program manager B. Pagos Minor, and suspended senior software engineer Terrafield filed paperwork with the federal agency on October 27th over the false and pretextual reasons and retaliation level against them respectively. What has this world come to? So if we put out one show and one season, yeah, it's bad, but somehow the woke community and the SJWs and the crybabies on the internet all over the world will find somehow, some way to cry over one tiny bitty thing about Dave Chappelle's Netflix special. This whole crap is never going to end until somebody from Netflix who has the balls to step up and say something. Because at the end of the day, everywhere you go, this whole thing will never end. And Dave Chappelle will continue winning. Dave Chappelle is still winning. And crybabies are losing. So, I just don't understand this at all. Netflix engaged in the above activity to quell employees from speaking up about working conditions, including, but not limited to, seeking to create a safe and affirming work environment for Netflix employees. Bullcrap. Speaking up about Netflix products and the impact of this product choices on, and providing support for employees whom Netflix has treated in an unlawfully and disparate manner. As claimed the statement of charge that Bay Area attorney Lorraine Burgess submitted for the non-binary identifying Pagos minor and the trans field. You know what? That kind of reminds me. I was watching one reaction video on YouTube, and I've seen the so-called spokesperson for the trans community. She heavily got exposed for being racist, cussing people out, calling people names, and calling them faggots and all that, knowing that they're gay and she's a trainee. Well, somebody once told me if I ever to receive something, don't bite the feed that, you know what I'm saying? But okay, I can't even get it out. As someone once told me, if I were to receive something, don't bite the hand that feeds you. So apparently, that's exactly what Netflix and the trans community are doing. So if they were to work out a deal, I think the trans community are going to end up biting the hand that feeds them. But apparently, that's not going that way. And they better not need to those people. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk right. Now look, at the end of the day, ain't nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do but to accept it. Because like it or not, Dave Chappelle is not going anywhere. He's winning and they're losing. So you can sit up there and cry about the comedy and the special all you want. You know you got some celebrities that will go against Chappelle and that would defend Chappelle over this special. But let's be real here. If it were to not happen on Netflix, I will bet you people would not watch Netflix because of the SJWs will win over the Chappelle. I may not like when Netflix did to Cooties last year, but I think this time when it comes to Dave Chappelle and his comedy career, we gotta fight for this brother, y'all. Like, no cap. Having failed repeatedly to quell the backlash and an October 20th protest walk out over Chappelle's 6th special on his platform, Netflix was considerably today to a point. We recognize the hurt and pain caused to our trans colleagues. Over the last few weeks, a spokesperson for the streamer told Deadline this afternoon. But we want to make it clear that Netflix has not taken any action against employees for either speaking up or walking out. And for that, I say bullcrap. Because number one, if you fire them, they're gone. If they want to protest over this bull crap, let them keep doing it. But at the end of the day, they're going to take the L still. And I've always said this. Do not bend the knee to the mob. Because they want the power to make people feel bad about themselves over what they did. Which is they did nothing wrong. Especially Dave Chappelle. He did nothing wrong but to tell jokes and put smiles on people's faces. That was his job. In the October 25th video promoting the latest dates on his current tour for his untitled documentary, Chappelle said he is willing to meet with members of the trans community. However, in listing of his conditions for such a sit-down and praising Sopranos and Netflix, the comic also insists, I am not bending to anyone's demands. Exactly. And if you haven't seen my reaction, go check it out. It's already out. He definitely spoke on something that really reminiscing my mind. I will not bend the knee to anyone's demands. I'm not anyone's puppet. I'm not anyone's dog. What I am is a celebrity and a comedian, and my job is to put smiles on people's faces. And whether you like me or you don't, I'm here to do my job. My job is to make people happy, to give people entertainment, not to feel sorry about my actions for accusing me of making jokes about the trans community or any type of communities in general. How many times have I said this in the past in my videos? Gay people tell jokes about gay people. Trans people tell jokes about trans people. But when a straight person does it, all hell broke loose. And that is the main reasons why, if you're a celebrity, and if you want to become a comedian, be prepared to face the backlash and the controversy over something you did not do. On the other hand, Sopranos won't jeopardize the streamer's lucrative relationship with Chappelle because of this crisis. As Netflix employees, former showrunners, GLAAD and the National Black Justice Coalition, I'm having a hard time saying that word, condemned Chappelle's denigrations of the trans community. Sopranos internally defended the comic and his special against claims of the transphobia, said it did not cross the line on hate speech. It never did. All it did was make people laugh and tell jokes. So why do you feel the need to be offended? You claim that it crossed the line. After being made aware of the betrayal, a number of his own staff felt the way the dust up was playing in the press. Serrano suddenly softened his stance, at least on the surface. Least or not, you should have never done that. That's a red flag for me. Any SJW mob will come to my channel and cry about my video about what I say of me speaking the truth. I'm not bending the knee to anybody. I'm going to keep on rising. I'm going to keep on going. Because no matter how many times people will complain and cry about all the dumb stuff, just know that I will keep on going. I screwed up in the internal communication, and I don't mean just mechanically. The exec said in a series of calibrated media appearance as an October 20th walkout by Netflix, trans staffers and others loomed it. I felt I should have made sure to recognize that a group of our employees was hurting very badly from the decision it made. And I should have recognized up front before going into a realization of of anything, the pain they were going through. I say that because I respect them deeply, and I love the contribution. I love the contribution. Sorry, they have on Netflix. They were horny, and I should have recognized that first. And once again, this is the one thing that made me upset the most when I read about this report. He should have never said what he said by apologizing to these people. These people want you to feel sorry about what you've done. And that's exactly my point. Still, Phil and two other staffers who criticized the streamer over the Chappelle special were suddenly suspended in early October for supposedly attending a virtual meeting they shouldn't have. The trio was reinstated soon after the absurdity of the situation and the timing became public. Oh, absurdity of the situation. Okay. I'm going to read it to you one more time. Still, Phil and two other staffers will criticize the streamer over the Chappelle special when suddenly suspended in early October for suddenly appearing in a virtual meeting they shouldn't have. The trio was reinstated soon after the absurdity of the situation and the timing became public. You should have kept them fired. If they did something wrong, you should have kept them fired. There's no if, ands, or buts of coming back. You screw up once, yow. Crying over a Chappelle special is not going to make things better. It's just going to continue to make things worse. This is the man's career we're talking about, people. Like, you shouldn't be getting mad over one celebrity that tells jokes about what's going on, because you know at the end of the day, he's telling the truth. And the truth is that the gays and the trans community should not be offended over everything. When a straight comedian does a skit, a gay skit or a trans skit, you shouldn't be crying about it. And if you look at and see the whole video, you will know that's exactly what's going on. A lot of comedians are having a real hard time trying to tell jokes nowadays without saying one word that, oh my God, he said a gay joke. Let's bash him on social media. You should know how this is going to end. Sometimes I feel like it sucks being a celebrity. Even though I'm not a celebrity, I'm not famous like everybody else. But if I were, I would have take a break from comedy. Because right now, these people want too much power. And it's obvious. Yet at almost the same time, workout organizer Pagel's Minor was pink slipped for supposedly leaking very specific compensation inform on Chappelle and others to the media, led by leak obsessed co-CEO Reed Hastings. Yeah, Reed Hastings. Okay, that's his name. The really transparent Netflix has been in beast mode to stop leaks from Chappelle's fallout or any other matter. You know what? Let me just say this right here. You know what you did. You messed up and you took the L. My bad, y'all. I had to do something. Now look, all I know for sure is that when you get caught doing something you got no business doing, you're finna get fired. So there's no way you can sit up there and cry about this whole special and walking out doing a protest because you want this to be removed by our platform. What is up with this community nowadays? Seriously. I shouldn't be keep doing stories on this, but then again, Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians of all time. So you know I'm going to have his back regardless. If I continue to do stories like this, I would think that a whole lot of communities will come together and stop the sensitive and sensitivity. What's that word? Sensitivity? Oh, sensitivity of this world. Okay, that's where I was looking for. Scientific. Let me shut up. The point I'm trying to make her is that I think we all should come together virtually to put an end to this offensive and sensitivity of this world without everybody crying over Chappelle. I just don't understand. Fired, but obviously not bowed. Pecos Minor denied on the record that anything was leaked. The very pregnant Pecos Minor spoke to the more than 100 people in a mix of Netflix staffers and supporters who showed up last week at the protest outside the streamer's Vine Street office in Hollywood. I want my child to grow up in a world where they see that their parent, a black trans person. What? Hold on. Am I reading this correctly? I want my child to grow up in a world where they see that their parent, a black trans person, Now I feel like you're just forcing your child to accept the community. You can't do that. You're supposed to teach. Listen, you're supposed to teach. Okay, I can't even talk right now. But you're supposed to teach your child right from wrong. You can't just force politics onto your son or your daughter or your child, for that matter, or whichever gender he or she is, that a black trans person exists. Just the trans community. Because I feel like you're not teaching your child right from wrong. You're just forcing politics into your son. I don't like this. And I don't like her. Because I exist. Contrary to what the special says, contrary to what many people say, that I am valued. And I am an important person. Pecos Minor proclaimed to cheers from the crowd. It now seems in going to the NLRB Pecos Minors and feels want Netflix to take some responsibility. My absolutely butt. These people want too much power. They want you to lose. They want you to take accountability for something you didn't do, especially when it comes to Dave Chappelle. But getting back to this comment right here, I want my child to grow up in a world where there's a trans person exists. You're making it about you. You're not teaching your child right from wrong. What you're doing is that you're not only making it about you, but you are forcing politics onto your child. And even if she did have a child, you should never do that. That right there is a red flag for me. I am sorry, transgender or not. You don't do that. Everybody watch this video will understand where I'm coming from. I don't care how bad my how bad my readings are. I don't care how bad my speeches are. What matters to me is his career is being saved. And the information I'm giving y'all and my opinions matters the most. What I say true and when I say facts. Don't bend the knee to the community, to the woke mob, to the SJWs. Keep going. That's all I gotta say.